Hello. Okay, well, first things first, can everybody hear me okay? Because that is the thing that can often foil these live stream things if there is some kind of microphone error. Howdy, Daniel123. Hello, thank you for the countdown. That was much appreciated. So, am I coming in okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Getting some hellos. Arkham Ben Cole, good evening. Ben Cole, you'll be happy to know I just watched a couple of classic Simpsons before jumping on this. The one where Marge gets the Chanel suit, and the one where they think Krusty's dead, but he's actually the fisherman. Is it Bart the Fink, that one? Anyway, always think of Ben Cole when I think of Simpsons. Oh, hello, everyone. Hey, Hunter Jameson. Harry Kane, hello. Boris Calvin now. Richard the Imaginator, hello. Cornel, hello. Oh, loud and clear. Okay, that's good. That's good. Ben Cole, I knew you'd know the answer to that. Oh, Sam, hey. How's it going? Rory, hello. More 007, please. Good evening. How did you enjoy... you were watching North Sea Hijack today, I believe, if your Twitter account is to be believed, which I've not watched yet, but it's part of the... can you tell I'm a Roger Moore fan? Like, Gold, Wild Geese, But, yes, this is the only one that I haven't watched yet. I watched the Wild Geese some time ago. And I still haven't watched Cybernauts yet. Oh, Lloyd, hello, Super Channel. Thanks, Lloyd. Hey. Hi, how are you? Thank you very much, sir. Well, in that case, then, I shall take a drink to that. So, cheers. I'm having whiskey and Diet Coke. Well, Coke Zero. 007, obviously. It ties in some way. Really nice. But I do have to confess there is a misnomer here because I'm not technically drinking whiskey. I'm drinking some kind of strange sort of mutation of it, the Jack Daniels apple version, which is really nice, but strictly I think it classifies as, I think apple liqueur rather than whiskey. But someone once told me that even like regular Jack Daniels isn't technically a whiskey. There's probably someone here with far more knowledge about that than me. It might have even been Joe Darlington or David Zaritsky that told me that. But oh, Zachary, hello. Okay, so this is like usual sort of thing. This is all quite informal, and I'm just going to sit here and have a drink and enjoy myself and just chat away. So feel free to ask questions in the live chat on the side. And hey, it's Christmas, so happy Christmas, everyone. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep these on for long, but I got these through work. We had our work Christmas party yesterday, which obviously was purely Zoom. It was just a quiz over Zoom, but it was quite nice. So anyway, Peter, hello. Unfortunately, I can only stay for a few minutes before I have to return to my school finals. Still, hope you all have the fun. Well, Peter, cheers. Good luck with that. Bloody hell. Will Moores, hello. Well, this is nice. Okay, well, let's get some question. Merry Christmas, Jones. I like that. Is that the drink Orumov chugged while napping Natalia? If it was, I can understand why he'd be so drunk on it. This is, it goes down a little bit too easily, I feel. This isn't sponsorship or anything. I just bloody love Jack Daniels. Oh, Alicia Cuthbert is a Bond girl. Alicia Cuthbert's an actress I haven't heard anyone mention in a while, James. That's interesting. Alicia Cuthbert's Jack Bauer's daughter in 24, I believe, wasn't she? Yeah. I don't know. I've not even seen her in anything for so long. I don't know if... Zachary, how can you imagine a post-pandemic world affecting how the Bond films look, i.e. crowd scenes? That is really interesting because in my day job, I work in animation, specifically children's animation, and a question that has been posed every now and then, and I suppose it'll be the same for live action. Live action has the advantage of being able to adapt much quicker. Obviously, animation everything needs to be built, it takes so much longer and all this kind of stuff. But a question is, at what point do you have to start sort of staging things, filming things to reflect the world that we are living in currently, i.e. people are wearing masks and, you know, you can't just go and hug your grandma or whatever it is. And I think it'll be interesting to see whether films do, because at the moment, from what I see from like on-set stuff, and I think everyone's just kind of acting under the assumption that, oh, well, it's just going to be exactly how it was, you know, a year ago by the time this comes out or whatever. But I don't know. I think they probably will continue on just kind of as they have been doing. I must say, though, it is always quite strange watching something and then you see people like hugging or something. And it's like, whoa, get away. Where's my 2-meter pole? You need to stick between these people. Bond Jedi Ranger 29. Oh, hello, sir. How are you? What's up, mate? How old are you, Calvin? And are you old enough to drink JD? Richard Woodall. I'm 31, Richard. So I'm long past the age where this is an acceptable way to spend my Wednesday evenings. Have you played the modern Hitman games? I still haven't. It's still really bad that Hitman 2 is sitting on my shelf. I really do need to get to it at some point. I tell you what I did play recently. I found an emulator online for like, I don't think it was the very first Bond game, but it was like the second or something like that. And it was, you're like a car and you have to like jump over little holes and stuff. And then you're in the water in like the Lotus, and then you have to like jump on a oil rig or something. It's like the Diamonds Are Forever level. Ridiculously difficult. Like I was sort of like doing a bit of prep because I was like, maybe I'll do a video on this because it's online. Like anyone can, if you just search it, I think you can find an emulator. I've found like 3 different ones myself. But God, is it hard? It's so difficult. And I'm kind of like, do I want to make a video where I don't actually complete the game because it's too difficult? Ben Cole, yes, the Atari 2600 game. I believe it was that. Oh, King of Pointless, a super chat. Calvin stole Tintin's eternally youthful genetics. Well, Tintin is a cartoon character. But thank you very much. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you very much for that. My line on that is that I have that Roger Moore youth tonic, which unfortunately means when I hit like 57, I'm just going to age rapidly in such a short space of time. I was thinking that earlier because my next video that I'm going to upload, I had to edit some clips from Moonraker into there. And I thought there's that bit where Bond takes off the gas mask when him and M and the Minister go into Drax. And because his face has been kind of pulled back, he looks like he has the face of what he has in A View to a Kill. It's really funny. Oh, hello, Lil Dak1. Thank you very much. Hi, Calvin. Just watched your Quantum of Solace debate with David and loved it. Are you aware that Mark Foster is going to direct a Thomas the Tank Engine movie? Yes, which is just... That man's career is something else. Like... the Winnie the Christopher Robin film, Quantum of Solace, World War Z, Stranger Than Fiction. Oh, he did something else recently, didn't he? That I was like, what on earth is he doing that for? But yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait for all of these shaky cam, sort of curious angle shots that don't tell you anything of Thomas's journey along the tracks. Emmanuel Z, hello from me. This is my first live stream here. Well, welcome. Welcome. I hope you're having as nice a time as I am. And also, Lil Dak1, if you enjoyed the Quantum of Solace debate with David, the next video that I upload on my channel is me kind of getting my revenge. Well, maybe it's David getting his revenge, because I'm going to upload it on Friday, and it's we have a similar sort of debate, but about Moonraker. So that's my excuse to be, the defender. Oh, John, super chat. Thank you very much. I love your content, but my holiday wish is for you to go easier on poor Timothy Dalton, my personal favorite Bond. Well, you know what? That might well just come true. My honestly, like, License to Kill is the Bond film that I've changed my sort of feelings on the most over the years. Like, I can't believe that at one point I would have said that that was my least favorite Bond film of all, and now I'm like, nah, it's encroaching on the top 10, dare I say it. Living Daylights has never been one that I've really quite connected with, and I think that a part of that is because I mean, obviously, they thought Pierce Brosnan was going to be playing Bond, and it was the first one after Roger Moore had done it for so long. So they were obviously having some issues deciding what kind of tone they were going to go for and all this kind of stuff. They didn't quite know how they were going to write it for someone new. So it was a bit more of a generic Bond script, I'd say. And then you have the moments where Timothy Dalton can really shine, like in the older stuff with the sniper, and all that. Like, that's all fantastic. I feel like License to Kill is actually a better film because it is more tailored to what Timothy Dalton can do and excel with. I feel like the whole thing is just sort of more appropriate for him, whereas Living Daylights is this strange sort of like middle ground sort of thing. But anyway, I know that an awful lot of people do really like Living Daylights. So far be it for me to poo-poo on it. Nick W. Hey, Calvin, where did you get that sheriff painting? Always get a kick out of it. I got it from an artist. Well, I got this recently. He's on Instagram and Twitter. Billy's Bond Art. This is the 2021 calendar. But he's fantastic. King of Pointless, thank you. Follow-up question. I asked in a 2019 stream, did you notice Joanna Matter Bond popped up being portrayed in... I've heard this. I still haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I do hear that she's in it as a character, which is quite strange. But yeah, no, that's a film that I've been really wanting to seek out for some time now. And then seeing that she was portrayed in it just kind of intrigued me even more. But Billy's Bond Art's really great. I've got a few more. I've got a Charles Gray as Blofeld, just to jump to the left over there. But he does these fantastic stuff, obviously. Another Pepper one there. And yeah, he posted that on his Instagram, the Sheriff Pepper painting. Just saying, like, I'd love to find a home for it somewhere. I just emailed him immediately, messaged him immediately, being like, I simply must have it, please. I'm making a mess of everything. Yeah, she was among the last people Sharon Tate ever met. Yeah, that's what I read. I can't remember who played her, but I was sort of intrigued by that. I'd love them to just make a movie about the behind the scenes of the 60s Casino Royale. I bet it'd be madness. I still haven't seen Mank yet, but I hear that that's quite strange from people who've seen it. Like, it's such a specific kind of behind the scenes thing that if you haven't seen Citizen Kane recently, you're not going to have a hope in hell's chance of actually deciphering it. Max H, what about a virtual Bond world in which all we Bond fans could meet during the Corona time? Well, that'd be lovely. I still find it bizarre to think that, like, just like literally a month or two before this whole thing kicked off, kind of in, you know, Europe and whatnot. Obviously, it was a problem over in China and everything much earlier, but the fact that we were all gearing up for No Time to Die and like events were being organized, all this kind of stuff, and now it's just like so far off in the distance, even thinking about that. Luigi Pepper, thank you. Hey, Calvin, I'm really looking forward to your Living Daylights review. It's to me like Octopussy is for you. Ah, interesting. Braxton Hastings, thank you very much, sir. It's very kind. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into the Living Daylights. Again, I've actually got my Octopussy review written, and it should hopefully, I'm hoping to have it up before New Year or around New Year anyway. Maybe I'll even try and upload it on New Year's Day, just so that, you know, everyone with their hangovers can hopefully watch it, and hopefully it'll help some people. Jim Bob, thank you very much. Hi, Calvin. If you could watch a Bond film actor appear in a film that wasn't theirs, oh, this is a good question. Which would it be? Pierce in Skyfall, Roger Newman Live Twice. That is really interesting. I think I would love to see... I'd love to see Roger in Die Another Day. I have a feeling Roger in Die Another Day could really improve that film. I think Rusty Shackleford, thank you as well. Super chat, it's really lovely. Hey, Calvin, what if George Lazenby stayed as Bond? I would actually love George Lazenby to have stayed on for maybe like one more film. You know, if they could have released a film in 1970 and not changed anything about Diamonds Are Forever, and we would have still have gotten Diamonds Are Forever, I would have been happy with that. Hey, Nick W., did you check out The Spy Who Loved Me someone made here in the style of GoldenEye 64? I did, and it looks fantastic. I need to figure out how I do all these emulator things, because between that and the Goldfinger game that someone made in the style of N64. I really need to know how I play these things. Oh, Life in Hell, thank you very much as well. Another super chat. Love your content, King. Thank you. That's really lovely. Yeah, no, I'm sadly very untech savvy. So when it comes to like emulators and things, I tried to decipher how to do it. It doesn't help that I'm on a Mac, which I think makes things extra difficult. Cool Boys Backyard, thank you very much. Thank you, that is lovely. Happy Christmas. Okay, Calvin, have you seen other Martin Campbell films like The Green Lantern and the Zorro films, Mask of Zorro, Legend of Zorro? That's from Billy Mount III. I have. I've seen Green Lantern a long time ago. I don't remember liking it very much. The Zorro films, I seem to remember liking the second one more, but it's been an awful long time since I saw it. And I saw Vertical Limit a couple of years ago, which Isabella Scorupco's in as well, in a small part. It's a bunch of people climbing the cliff or something. I can't even really remember, but I just watched it because it's him and her. But yeah, I think the thing with Martin Campbell is he's really solid in non-Bond films, but an absolute god tier when he's actually doing a Bond film. It's quite interesting like that. Oh, Scott Kingsolver. I'm probably making a mockery of that pronunciation. I'm sorry, Scott. In his recent Mission Impossible video, Loverboy Media called Vanessa Kirby the best Bond girl not in a Bond movie. Thoughts? Oh, that's interesting. Quite possibly. I still think it's a shame that Monica Bellucci never got a chance in the Brosnan era. I think her and Brosnan would have had really great chemistry. I think she would have been quite something. Oh, Padraig Don. I'm probably really mispronouncing that, but thank you very much again for the super chat. That's really kind. Hi, Calvin. What gameplay style would you like to see in the upcoming Project 007, first person or third person? Well, in the past, I've always been more of a fan of the first person Bond games, but I'm actually... I think, given from what I've seen of Hitman, I think I'd be fine with third person, actually. And I think Everything or Nothing grows on me more and more as the years come on. And I think it is because you can actually see Bond himself. You can see Pierce Brosnan, whereas in Nightfire, you might not be able to necessarily tell from any particular still that it is a Bond game. Whereas if Bond is in third person, you can tell, okay, this is Daniel Craig, this is Pierce Brosnan, this is Sean Connery. I know what world I'm in with this. Justin Emerson Richards, thank you. Hello, are Brits still mad with the US rebels? I mean, I'm not. All friends here, as far as I'm concerned. But thank you very much for the super chat. That's really lovely. Thank you. Oh, King of Pointless. My Bond girl suggestion, Carla Gugino. I never know how to pronounce her name, but I actually love her. King of Pointless. I might not be able to say her name, as I can't say many names, apparently, as these live streams often prove. But no, I think she's fantastic. I think she's a really terrific actress, and one of those she's never really in projects that are as good as she is, I don't think, which is a shame. Oh, P. Melling 2293. Cheers, thank you. Would you ever review a Bond porn parody? I've not even seen a Bond porn parody. I'm guessing that they probably are out there, but I don't think I would. I don't think I'd last on YouTube for more than 5 minutes. This is a family channel, you know. I've been trying to cut down on my swearing recently. Recently, in the last few years, anyway. Some of those older videos, I think, God, what a filthy mouth. I could go back and wash 2011 Calvin's mouth out with soap, I would. All right. Oh, William McCarran. How do I convince my dad to warm up to Daniel Craig? Oh, that's interesting. Hopefully No Time to Die will do that. It's hard to make someone warm up to a particular Bond, I think. Craig's always on a knife edge for me because 2 of his films I really love, 2 of his films I really don't love. So... thoughts on Brosnan being in The Living Daylights? I would probably have loved that. And as I mentioned earlier on, because The Living Daylights had such an unspecific script, I think he'd have fit into it very well, actually. High Voltage, thank you very much. That is very kind. do you think they should ever do a 007 TV show? Oh, well, there was a friend of mine, Aaron, he posted on Twitter a bunch of sort of like inspired by all the Star Wars shows that were announced last week. He did sort of like a mock post about, like, you know, if there was a J.W. Pepper show and a Felix show and a Nomi show and a Moneypenny show and a Q show and all these kinds of things. And a part of me would kind of like it. I'm always nervous about them diluting the brand too much. Like, there was a time when I would have said, like, Star Wars and James Bond are my things. Like, I absolutely adore both of these franchises. And now I feel like Star Wars has been too oversaturated. And I would be nervous about that happening to Bond, and I wouldn't really want that to happen to Bond. So it's tough. I wouldn't mind like an animated series sort of in the style of like 1950s kind of Bond, but I don't think I'll ever get that, quite honestly. Nick W., thank you so much. Lovely. Thank you. Very kind. Did you know that George Lazenby was under consideration for Bond in Never Say Never Again? I don't think I knew that. That would have been insane. Oh my goodness. A part of me kind of wishes that, you know, Kevin McClory had have had his way every decade, and then the previous Bond would have come back every other decade to do that one off. Like, they just do Thunderball again and, you know, Domino and Largo and all that kind of stuff. I do wonder how much of general audiences realize that Never Say Never Again and Thunderball are kind of the same thing. Like, if you just have the Bond box set and you're watching them all through, and you're just a casual fan sort of thing, do you not get to that and then wonder, like, what's going on here? King of Pointless again, thank you very much. Wasn't Diamonds Are Forever kind of porn parody? Well, I'm surprised that my video where I looked through the deleted scenes and you see Connery's bare ass there on the thing, I'm surprised that that's stayed on YouTube for as long as it has. John Leggett, thank you very much. Another, sorry, I keep toasting and then I'm not drinking. I'm sure this is terrible, bad luck. There we go. Thank you, John. Hans Zimmer did a fine job with Wonder Woman 1984. I've heard that, actually. Back to his 90s style. What are your hopes for his score for No Time to Die? That's a really good question, actually, because I wasn't that keen when he was first announced. And you can see my video reaction on this channel where I'm kind of like, it's going to be good, obviously. The score is obviously going to be good, but I was kind of like, I don't know, it's just, is it too obvious a choice? I'm not sure that I find this terribly interesting. Whereas Dan Roma, who'd been announced before, was like a complete unknown and would have been a complete, like, I'd have no idea what to expect from that. But now I'm kind of like, particularly hearing his Gun Barrel score, like the track that was released where he did his version of the Gun Barrel and then his influence, and then his input into the Billie Eilish song. I think I'm actually really, really jazzed. I think it might end up being one of my favorite Bond scores ever, but we'll see. Justin Emerson Richards, thank you very much again, sir. Fun fact, Reagan saw Never Say Never Again in the White House. That is insane. I did not know that. It's like, wasn't From Russia with Love the last film that Kennedy saw before he got shot or something like that? I know he had the book on his top 10 list, but I believe I read somewhere that he saw the film. Adrian Quirtz sent a super chat. Thank you very much. You didn't ask anything. I don't know if you intended to or not, but either way, thank you very much, Adrian. That's lovely. Thank you very much. All right. Shag Another Day. Shaggers. Is that an actual Bond porn parody? That'd be, yeah, quite something. Good evening from Germany. Captain Calvin from Twitter here. Hello, Captain Calvin Cat. I am indeed fine. I hope you are too. You should watch Our Man Bashir from Star Trek Deep Nine. Oh, is that a Bond parody within Star Trek? It'd be interesting. Max H, who do you want to replace Craig? Funnily enough, after watching The Crown on Netflix recently, the actor that played Prince Charles in that, Josh O'Connor, I'd actually quite like him to do it, I think. I thought he was really, really good, and he wears a safari suit in one scene, and when I saw that still, I was like, safari suit, Roger Moore, James Bond. But I think he's a really terrific actor. I just don't feel like he's had that kind of, you know, he hasn't had his layer cake. He hasn't had his Remington Steele or something that isn't Bond, but that can kind of sort of make people think like, oh, we would accept him as an action star kind of thing. Rodri Williams, thank you very much. Sorry, I'm probably really mispronouncing your first name. Rodri Williams. Your favorites to make future Bond songs. My favorite has always been Lady Gaga for that. I know it's shameless of me, but I think she'd do terrific. I think maybe her moment might have passed. They do tend to seem to go for quite young people. I mean, could you get younger than Billie Eilish? Probably not. So I don't know if her moment has passed. But Lady Gaga and Muse, for the longest time, have been my two kind of top artists, performers to do Bond songs, definitely. P. Milling, 2293, thank you so much. I love your work, Calvin. Well, that's lovely. Thank you. I've been watching since the start, i.e. the channel Awesome Style says. Who would you suggest for a Christmas Jones recast? Oh my God, it's impossible for me to imagine anyone other than Denise Richards in that part. That's a really good question. If you were to recast Christmas Jones today, who would you pick? Would you go with some sort of American actress of I love Denise Richards, but ill repute, maybe. I say that I've got her bloody biography here, autobiography, in which she does not say nice things about working on The World Is Not Enough for Sure. I've got this here because I hope to make a video on Christmas Jones someday specifically. But she did not have a good time on that film, that's for sure. But who would I cast? Get Denise Richards back. Quite possibly, actually. I think I might. I think just get Denise Richards back exactly how she is now. I would totally be game for that. Could you imagine if they put someone like that in a film with Daniel Craig? It'd be fascinating. I mean, he probably wouldn't allow it to happen, I don't think. But, yeah. Have you played the Uncharted games? Kaiju Comics asks. I haven't, actually, but I'm aware of them, and I know that they're like third-person adventure kind of stuff. I've heard people say, along with IO Interactive, who obviously do the Hitman games who have the Bond license. Now, I've heard people say that the people who make Uncharted games would actually make a really solid Bond game. So hopefully get to them at some point. Ben Cole, have you seen Denise Richards' latest film, Money Plane? Also stars Kelsey Grammer as a mob boss. I haven't, but it's been on my list for so long. I would love to. I'm waiting for an excuse to sort of like either make a video or a podcast on it or something like that, because I feel like I'm going to have a lot of thoughts I need to get out there very quickly. Have you seen it, Ben Cole? I mean, just the phrase, the title Money Plane is just so ridiculous. I absolutely love it. Lorenzo, hello, Lorenzo. Christmas only comes once a year. Yeah, and we're almost there now. Cornel, how is your enthusiasm for No Time to Die at the moment? I'm kind of not really hyped anymore, and I kind of struggle with it. I don't feel like I don't feel like my Bond fandom has changed much over throughout lockdown, and particularly because I've been doing a lot of videos for the channel and everything. I feel like I'm not on a level of hype like I was like in August, September just gone, where they were really gearing up for it. But I'm there pretty much on the hype train anyway. King of Pointless, thank you very much. Ringo Starr's Goldfinger theme is my favorite. Look on YouTube if you haven't heard it. Peter Serafinowicz is brilliant. All right, I'm gonna have to be checking that out. I do love Peter Serafinowicz, actually. Brian Butterfield is one of my favorite comedy characters. I think he's fantastic. Nicholas Ruark. Thank you very much, Nicholas. Cheers. Will you review the rest of the Gardner novels? They get wacky. I would love to hear your opinions on the other novels. Love your videos. I do have a few more here as well. I just need to get back into the habit of reading, I'm afraid. It's just I've really let it slide with lockdown and everything, which really, I shouldn't have done, because I'm not commuting anymore. I don't read, which is quite a sad state, but I read Mark Edlitz's new book, actually. In fact, I think it's over by my bed right now, so I don't even have it to show you. But that's about all the reading that I've done since lockdown happened. Oh, Rodri Williams, thank you very much. Jack O'Connell for Bond. Ooh, not a bad shout at all, actually. I do really like Jack O'Connell. He's a fantastic actor. Was he in that Angelina Jolie film? I remember thinking he was really good in that. Daffyd Brooks, thank you very much, Mr. Brooks. I think Mission Impossible 3, 4, 5, and 6 are better the Daniel Craig movies. They're basically 007 movies. What do you think of them? Well, I've only seen up to 4, and I do like 3 and 4 very much. I've got 5 and 6 like on my shelf, waiting for the opportunity to do reviews, but I've heard fantastic things, so I'm hoping to get to them soon. And obviously, you know, Tom Cruise has been in the news recently, so yeah, I might actually get to them quite soon. William Rushk, what 8657. Thank you very much, William, and apologies for mispronouncing your surname. I swear that half of these live streams are just me apologizing for mispronouncing people's names. Would you ever consider making a second channel to talk about non-Bond subjects like Star Wars, classic cinema, etc.? I've actually considered that, and I think one day I might well do that, but it would have to be at a time where maybe I don't know, if for whatever reason I could perhaps make a living out of making videos for YouTube and content and that kind of stuff, then possibly then, but I'm nowhere near that, so I don't know if, because it takes a lot of time to make these things, and at the moment it is very much a hobby, and it's my peace time, and sitting here and making videos and responding to comments and all that kind of stuff, getting involved is really my pastime. So I don't know, it'd probably have to be more of a job for me to do that, but who knows, maybe one day. Jim Bob, thank you very much. Jim Bob says, Bond 26, a young Bond in the Navy through to MI6. Now, that'd be interesting. I do wonder if they will go as far back as, like, doing a whole young Bond kind of thing. I think it'd be quite interesting. And a different way to play it as well. Matt Picton, hello. Hey, Calvin, what are your favorite Tim Burton films? I love Edward Scissorhands and Batman Returns. Well, I'm with you on Batman Returns, actually. I think Batman Returns is phenomenal and a great Christmas film as well. As far as other Tim Burton films go, I'm going to potentially be controversial here and say that I really love Mars Attacks. Obviously, Pierce Brosnan's in that. And I know it's not one of Tim Burton's better films. I know it's a bit of a mess, but there is just something about that film that's so crazy and really wacky funny that I love the bit where Glenn Close's first lady is like running through the White House and the aliens are coming in and stuff. So yeah, that's one of them. Ed Wood is phenomenal as well, I think. I really, really love Ed Wood. Edward Scissorhands obviously is great. Now, Nightmare Before Christmas, I know he didn't strictly direct Nightmare Before Christmas, but it is often thought of as a Tim Burton film, so I might, go with that as well. And another Christmas film. Tim Burton loves his Christmas. James, that's a good film, Mars Attacks. Oh, I'm glad you like it as well. And I'm not the only one. Oh, Callum Roach, are you still going to do a video about the aborted Timothy Dalton film? Might well do at some point in the future. I have to see if Mr. Mark Edlitz, who did a great new book on the potential of a third and fourth Timothy Dalton films that never happened, because he's very thoroughly researched those things, and I might see if, he might lend me a hand, or, it might just be, asking him questions, because I think it's a really fascinating, what if, if they didn't have all the legal troubles that they had at that time, what would have happened if Dalton had done a third? But, yeah. Zachary, I've always liked the idea of a James Bond Tomb Raider crossover for a reason. If it was done as one-off thing, would you watch? I would totally watch that. Yes. I mean, Christmas Jones is pretty much modeled on the whole Lara Croft thing with the boobs and the shorts and everything. High Voltage, thank you. A Corpse Bride fan. Very good. An underrated gem in your opinion. And I agree with you, actually, High Voltage. And cheers. Here's to you. But then I'm a geek for stop motion animation. I love stop motion animation. That's what I did at university. So any kind of stop motion film is really, Oh, Cool Boys Backyard. Thank you very much. Another excuse to have a drink. I'm fine with this. When you're doing a review on Carry On Spying, the only Bond spoof you haven't done, indeed R.I.P. Barbara Windsor. I'm actually quite a Carry On fan, but I haven't seen Carry On Spying. Or at least I don't think I have, because I watched a lot of Carry On when I was an early teenager. And I must have watched it then, but I can't really remember it very well. Carry On Matron was always my favorite Carry On film. But yeah, it's really sad news about Barbara Windsor. There's been some very, sad celebrity deaths this year, which is just another reason to hate 2020. King of Pointless, thank you. Thanks for getting gold theme stuck in my head. Oh, well, that's my absolute pleasure. Gold again, Roger Moore. Had a good time with that film. AJ Garrett, thank you very much. That's really lovely. Thank you. Another super chat. This is lovely. Oh, more 007, please. Calvin, will there be a Bullseye review? Have you recovered yet? I've just about recovered. Bullseye being the, I don't have it here, but the film, if we can call it that, starring Roger Moore and Michael Caine together, directed by Michael Winner. It is one of the most bizarre films I've ever seen, and I can't wait to make a video on it. But we'll, yeah, we'll see when you know, time permits. Nick W, are you going to do the Matt Helm series? I've had quite a few suggestions about this, and thank you very much, Nick. Cheers to you. I might well have to, because enough people have suggested it that I think it's going to be worth looking at. Because I don't know much about the Matt Helm. Daffy Brooks again. Thank you very much. Do you think if Brosnan was 007 in 1987 that License to Kill would not be serious? The writer's strike would still have happened, though, and the 6-year gap. That's a really interesting question. I don't think they would have done that with Brosnan. I think License to Kill strikes me very much as a reaction to Timothy Dalton coming in and being very much the thespian and wanting to do serious stuff and all this kind of stuff. And they obviously tailored the film to sort of what he wanted to do. And it was also a way to differentiate the style, freshen up the format a bit. I think if Brosnan had still have been in the part, they probably would have continued more with the style of The Living Daylights, I think. But yeah, and it's an interesting thought, though. Yeah, I've often said this, like, you know, when it's sort of like about Lazenby potentially doing Diamonds Are Forever or whatever, and it's you know, Dalton doing GoldenEye. I kind of would love to have the extra, like, third Dalton film and the second Lazenby film, but I don't want anything else in the series to change. I don't want to substitute Brosnan's GoldenEye. Well, I certainly wouldn't substitute that for, you know, Dalton's GoldenEye, but I'd love to have seen him. Great Overlord, thank you. You are indeed great. Have you played Hitman yet? You should. I know it's really bad that I haven't, because, like I said, I've had Hitman 2 sat on my shelf for ages. I really do need to just get around to playing it, but I need to actually get the first one, because from what I understand, there's actually quite a bit of a story. And I'm always a bit of a completist with these things. I think I might need to watch play the first one and then go into the second one, just so I can be as up to date as I possibly can. How likely will No Time to Die become a 60th anniversary release? I think there's about as much chance of that as there is of it coming out next year, to be perfectly honest. But yeah. Oh, Matt Picton. Thank you very much, Matt Picton. Very kind. Well, I should probably drink. Any excuse for a drink. Yeah, I'm still not quite sure about whether or not yeah, I think No Time to Die is probably going to get delayed again. But then, obviously, the obvious time for it to move to would be November, but then they've got this next Mission Impossible film coming out in November, so I can't imagine that they would want to compete directly with that. So, I mean, would they September, October? Because I was looking at the release schedule, because I'm like, obviously, Universal Studios have their own releases that they don't want to be interfering with on internationally and all that kind of stuff. So, be very interesting to see how they walk that tightrope. The Phantom of the Fjord is a fantastic name. Thank you very much, Phantom. If you had to cast a female Bond, who would it be? My pick is Karen Gillan. Oh, she'd be a good choice. It's honestly not something that I've really thought about all that much, you know. I love Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde. I didn't like the film all that much, but I thought she was good in it. If she'd have had a bit more humor, then maybe her as a Bond. She's probably a bit too old for it now. But Karen Gillan's a good choice. I do like Karen Gillan an awful lot. Matt Picton again. Thank you, Matt. Hot take. My favorite Desmond Llewellyn Q performance is in GoldenEye. I love him laughing at Bond's pen is mightier than the sword grip. I love him in that. I think the Q scene in GoldenEye is quite possibly my favorite Q scene in the whole series. I love Martin Campbell's direction of it is so kinetic, and the camera's moving and the gadgets are flying and all this kind of stuff. And it really, when you watch it next to other scenes, other Q scenes from earlier on in the series where there's so much kind of static and the camera's just like, you know, doing that, and then you go to GoldenEye, and it's got a real energy that I don't think the Q scenes ever had or didn't have since maybe The Spy Who Loved Me, because I think that's another really good sort of energetic one. Oh, Red D. Hello, Red D. Thank you very much. Street Fighter or Tekken? I think I probably played more Street Fighter when I was a kid, but I don't really play either of them at the moment. Fighting games, I don't know. They're not really my thing. Like first-person shooters and then like third-person. I played Red Dead Redemption 2 earlier this year, and it's phenomenal, amazing game. I think I probably played it for like 6 months or something. It's ridiculous, but I love it when you can get really invested in a game like that. Jim Bob. Gillian Anderson is the next M. I would absolutely adore Jim Bob. That's a fantastic idea. Cheers and thank you very much. Gillian Anderson's having quite a moment. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I'm watching The Crown and everything, and she's fantastic in that as Margaret Thatcher. But then she's fantastic in everything. Sex Education she's in, and terrific. Yeah, and she plays a really good M-type character in that second Johnny English film. So I think, yeah. Oh, Tom Patton. Hello, Tom Patton. Cheers, Calvin plays Cyberpunk 2077. I've heard an awful lot of people say that that is a really fantastic game, so I might well have to. Cornel, if there's one Bond character who got their own spin-off, which one should that be? Oof. Well, you're asking me. So, obviously, it's a buddy comedy with Sheriff J.W. Pepper and the double-taking pigeon on a road trip of some kind. I'm thinking maybe we send them to Vietnam or somewhere rural where they have to really, you know, deal with some local people, language barriers, all that kind of stuff. Sheriff Pepper only speaks English, double-taking pigeon only speaks pidgin, so we, you know, it writes itself. I mean, but in terms of who should get it, probably Felix Leiter. Okay, High Voltage, thank you very much again. That is very kind of you. Happy Christmas. And Happy New Year as well. We're coming up to that point, aren't we? There are seven main Hitman games. Hitman, Blood Money, and Hitman 2 are the best loved from the fans. Interesting. Okay. I might have to look into this in more detail, because I've got Hitman 2 on the shelf, and I just thought that was like second one. I know they made a movie, didn't they, with Timothy Olyphant as the Hitman character. I don't even know what he's called. Damien Fenton, hello. How do you do? Thank you very much. And would you prefer Barbara and Michael to continue the series after Daniel Craig, or pass the series to other producers? Oof, that's a question and a half, Damien. A part of me is a traditionalist, so I would kind of just like them to stay with it forever. However, I know that, particularly with Michael G. Wilson's age and everything, that they can't do it forever, and maybe there's no current heir apparent. So maybe it would be better for continuity's sake if they passed it on. I don't know. We are going to be in a really interesting phase after No Time to Die comes out, if it ever comes out. But yes, I kind of want them to stay with it forever, but I don't like change, so maybe that's why. Zachary Antle, I'm surprised they haven't tried to do a Felix movie. I quite agree with that, Zachary, and cheers to you. Thanks again. I'm surprised they've never done like a Felix spin-off series. Seems like quite a natural thing, but Ben Cole, isn't Greg Wilson in line to take over? Well, I feel like we would have seen more of him if he was really in line to take over. Like, I feel like he doesn't really have much sort of, you know, much of a public presence, but maybe that's intentional. Like, I don't know if Barbara Broccoli had that much, you know, of a public presence in 1989, for instance. So it's going to be interesting. Matt Bevan. Hello, Matt. Hi, Calvin. Love watching your videos. Was wondering if what you think to the great Sean Longmore's new Bond posters. How many prints do you own? I own like pretty much all of them. Some of them are currently stuck in the post, like his latest batch, which is, I've got some there, which you can see. But he's terrific, and I absolutely adore everything he does. He's phenomenal. Oh, Great Overlord again. Thank you. You have the most amazing name. Skip the Hitman movies. Movies. There's more than one. Okay. Hitman 1 and 2 are reboots. Hitman 2 has Hitman 1 included. Well, that's a relief. So I've got the whole thing on my shelf. I don't need to go and buy another game. Oh, that's fantastic. Great Overlord indeed. You are great. Thank you very much, sir. Scott Kingsolver, if you had to cast an American as Bond for the next film, who would you cast? Also, no worries, it's just Kingsolver like Kingslayer. Oh, Kingsolver, right. Yes, I get it now. Thank you, Scott. Cheers. If you had to cast an American as Bond, this might just be influenced because I saw The Man from U.N.C.L.E. recently, but I thought Armie Hammer was quite good. In that I could see him playing suave very well. American, that's a really good question. Can I go with Armie Hammer for that? I think I'm going to go with Armie Hammer for that. Right, Matt. Calvin, which villain would you have liked to return in the vein of Jaws? Oh, that's a good question. Baron Samedi coming back would have been an awful lot of fun. Obviously, Jeffrey Holder's performance is phenomenal. And having him come back, I don't quite know what capacity they could have him come back in. But yeah, I think he'd have been great. Oh, King of Pointless again. Thank you very much. They're very, very kind. Calvin, the next Bond villain can the next Bond villain be based on Mark Zuckerberg so people across the political aisle can be united in enjoying his gruesome death? He does seem like a villain in that vein would be, yeah, an excuse for people of all affiliations to come together, which would be quite nice. But yes, thank you very much again, King of Pointless. Emmanuel's it. I'm watching the franchise for the first time in chronological order, and I'm mostly excited about Spectre. I can't wait. I think it's going to be my favorite Bond film. Interesting. I hope you haven't seen my review of it before you watch the thing, because I might spoil a few things for you. Ben Cole, what do you think is the biggest jump in quality between Bond films, e.g. Golden Gun to The Spy Who Loved Me, Die Another Day to Casino Royale? At one point, I would have definitely said License to Kill to GoldenEye, but not so much now. I think Die Another Day to Casino Royale is probably the biggest... I mean, I think it's quite interesting because I think that the difference in the style of filmmaking between License to Kill and GoldenEye is vastly more different than the difference in the filmmaking from Dr. No to License to Kill, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I think Martin Campbell did an awful lot of modernizing with GoldenEye. I always appreciate him for that. Zachary again. Hi, Zachary. Tom Ford as Bond director. His movie Nocturnal Animals is one of my all-time favorites. I love Tom Ford to direct. A Single Man is one of my favorite films of just of all time, really. And he directed that. And yeah, I think he's got a really great visual style. That yeah, and he knows his suits very well. I'm sure Daniel Craig would have been very happy if he'd have directed one of his. Damien Fenton sent a super chat, but message was retracted. But I will drink to you anyway, Damien Fenton. Red Deer Single Man is wonderful. I quite agree. It really is. John Riggs. Hello, John. Would love to see your take on Never Say Never Again. Well, we'll get there eventually. It's not a good take, I'll tell you that much. Matt Picton, again. You're so lovely. Thank you. What if Christoph Waltz in No Time to Die started doing Hans Landau's hilarious laugh from Inglourious Basterds lore? I would love it if Christoph Waltz did more Inglourious Basterds in Bond. I think that'd be fantastic. I absolutely love that film. It's my favorite Quentin Tarantino film, and Christoph Waltz is phenomenal in it. I can't tell you how happy I was when he was announced for Spectre, and then when it actually came out and what his performance was, it was just so like, oh, careful what you wish for. High Voltage, again, thank you, High Voltage. Elliot Carver is the closest to Mark Zuckerberg. That's true, actually. Yeah, very true. I do wonder if they'd go that route again, because I like Elliot Carver. Nick W. Thank you very much. Besides Billy's Bond art, who else would you recommend? Going to try and fill my wall with some art next to my autograph collection. Excellent. Well, Sean Longmore should be one of your first ports of call, who did these fantastic posters here. And there's a little Nightfire postcard there as well. So Sean really knows his Bond. and all of his work is full of such lovely little references and representations of characters that I think, you know, you have to be a fan of the series to really get. So him, definitely. Toys of Bond, Ruben Wakeman, who made these lovely pieces, but he's also done these lovely bits of work. So this is a Dr. No poster, Majesty's Secret Service. He has a really lovely way of blending together a load of iconography together into one piece. So definitely those guys. Oh, hello. Mike Mick Productions, thank you very much. Sorry, I've just seen this now. Very kind. Thank you. Greetings from Long Island, New York. Oh, hello. You are in the middle of a snowstorm right now, I believe. So I hope that you are suitably, you know, have tins and toilet roll and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, sorry. I'm honestly intrigued at this new Bond game concept. Stealth like Metal Gear, combat like GTA. I'm hoping that there's going to be some... I'm not a huge fan of stealth games normally, but I'd quite like to see, based on what I've seen in videos of Hitman and stuff, I think it might work. But I do like a bit of action as well, so I'm hoping that there's going to be quite a nice blend. Trip Films! Josh, hello. How's it going? Thank you very much. Do you plan on reviewing the Hitman game? Sorry if you've answered this, but they are Bond-esque. That is what I hear. Yes, and yes, I've got Hitman 2 on my shelf, and I will definitely get to it at some point. But first I want to play The World Is Not Enough on the N64, because I've never played that. So maybe after that, but I should probably get Hitman 2 played fairly swiftly, because I'm sure they'll probably have released another one by the time I've actually finished playing it. But thank you very much, Josh. That's very kind. Zachary Antle, also, since the visuals for No Time to Die are so vibrant and the music videos in black and white, what if the opening titles are in total black and white? That would be interesting, actually. Never really considered that, but yeah, because certainly the Spectre opening titles had quite a sort of desaturated, very lacking in color sort of palette. So that would be interesting. And thank you very much again, Zachary. I'm going to have to top up my drink. Fortunately, I did bring another Coke Zero for this eventuality. So you just bear with me while I fix my drink. But answering the question from Daffy Brooks, thank you very much. I feel the last two 007 movies have gone back to being more traditional movies, to the point where Casino Royale style is gone and feels pointless. Thoughts? I think that's a really interesting observation, actually, and I agree to an extent. And this is the problem that the series is in after Casino Royale, because Casino Royale was something so very different to what the series was, and yet it's the one that gets all of the critical accolades. It was very popular and all that kind of stuff. Still is a very popular film in the series, even with general audiences. But what do you do when one of the most popular films in your series isn't actually what your series is all about? And it's interesting, because Quantum of Solace was just Casino Royale, not even part 2, 1.5, and then Skyfall and Spectre tried to keep some of that, but also the traditional Bond elements as well. And I don't know if... I think Skyfall got a pretty good blend of elements, but yeah, I know what you mean about the Casino Royale style. I wonder if we'll get it back if when a new Bond comes in. Oh, Mike Mick Productions again, hello. Thank you very much. Yes, it's snowing in NY, not bad so far. Also, what do you think of the idea of Henry Cavill as the next James Bond? A part of me is kind of like, I totally see where people are coming from, because I know that Tom Sears of James Bond Radio says about Henry Cavill, like, he just looks like he's born to play James Bond, much in the same way of like Pierce Brosnan beforehand. And I completely agree with that. Like, if you see him in The Man from Uncle, he just looks like James Bond. He's just, it's just all there. But I don't know. I've never loved him all that much, so I don't know if he'd be my top choice. But anyway, thanks, Mike Mick. I'm very glad it's not too bad snow so far, because I heard that there was a pretty bad snowstorm about to hit the east coast of the US today. Right, okay. Cool Pac-Man, hello. What is your favorite Bond poster? Sorry, I'm looking because my backdrop's over there with the posters on it. It's gonna have to be Moonraker. I love Moonraker with Bond in the spacesuit and everything, and Jaws flying at him in the background and all that. I think it's just fantastic. It's just fun. I've got that poster in my living room, actually. It's one of the few bits of Bond article that I have outside of this corner around the flat. But yeah, I love that poster so much. Otherwise, GoldenEye I love. And The World Is Not Enough, but specifically The World Is Not Enough poster that's like red. Which I think is sort of like a landscape one. I need to find out how I can actually buy a version of that, because I quite like that one, but I know it wasn't the traditional theatrical one. So anyway, Diane Kruger as a Bond girl. I absolutely love Diane Kruger. She's fantastic. She'd probably be, someone asked earlier on about who, if a female Bond, who would you cast? I think Diane Kruger might well be a choice for that. Oh, William Rushk again. Thank you very much. Cheers, William. Have you seen the Star Wars and Indiana Jones announcements from the Disney investor presentation? If so, what do you think? Yes, I have, and I have lost count of how many Star Wars things are in the mix. It's quite, yeah. Indiana Jones I'm probably more excited about at this stage, just to have Harrison Ford come back and hopefully make a film that is going to somewhat redeem the absolute, oh god, the fourth Indiana Jones film. Actually, I need to go back and rewatch it at some point. I haven't seen it in ages, but I remember going back to it a few years ago thinking like, oh, it's probably fun. I probably just remember being disappointed with it more than the actual quality of the film. Then I watched it. I was like, oh god, no, it's really bad. Oh, Mike Mick Productions again. Gotta head out, but I own Twine on the N64. It's great. Well, thank you very much, Mike Mick Productions. Hope you're gonna stay well. And yeah, no, I've heard very good things about World's Not Enough on the N64, so I think I will have to, yeah, hopefully, you know, in that kind of no man's land between Christmas and New Year, that's when I'm kind of planning to maybe delve into that. But then maybe the Octopussy review as well. There's so much to do. So people like occasionally ask me, like non-Bond fans, like, do you run out of things to say just having a whole channel about Bond? It's like, funnily enough, no, there's so much out there to talk about. Justin Emerson Richards, thank you again, Justin. Every day Fleming shed blood on a Churchill altar. I don't know that. I don't know what that means, I'm afraid. Probably heathenistic of me to not know, but... Daffiad Brooks, thank you very much again, Daffiad. Do you have any 007 action figures, Action Man dolls? I don't have any of the Action Man dolls. The only 007 action figure I have is a James Bond Jr. action figure of Oddjob, which I bought on eBay about 10 years ago because I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And I can't even... It's in a box somewhere. I don't even know. I need to get that thing out, actually, and have it prominently displayed. Maybe it'll overtake my gold DB5 as my prominent desk artifact. Oh, Sean Turner sent a super chat as well. Thank you very much, Sean. It's very kind of you. Fantastic name as well, obviously, Sean. Lars, Calvin, gonna get it. Hey, Jimbo. Hey, Jimbo. God, my Joe Don Baker needs work. Do you feel sorry for Truman Lodge? That's from Finn Townley. I'm curious to know if you feel sorry for Truman Lodge. I can't say he's at the top of my sort of sympathy list, but it is an odd character in License to Kill, and he sort of hangs around for a little bit and just to sort of yeah, die. But he didn't look so into Sanchez's scheme. He was all about the money, wasn't he? Charlie Nice, hello Charlie. Recently for my birthday, I got the Bond movie collection from Connery to Brosnan. Very good, very good. I'm trusting you're either not a fan of Craig or you just have the Craig films separately. Sing the James Bond theme right now. That is from King of Pointless as a super chat, and I don't know if you want to hear it, but Bond, James Bond Jr. No, I can't go any further, sorry. I can't even remember the lyrics, actually. Sorry, this is exactly what everyone wants. Me drunkenly singing trying to remember the James Bond Jr. theme song on a live stream. But thank you very much, King of Pointless. It's, oh, what is it? It's like, can stop him, but scum always tries. Young Bond cuts through each web of lies. He learned the game from his uncle James. now he's heir to the name. Is that it? I can't remember. Oh, Zachary Antle again. Thank you very much. On a different note entirely, how would you rewrite Spectre to make it better? Well, take out the brothers thing for an immediately. And also give Blofeld's villain scheme a bit more purpose. The whole thing about collecting data is really weird because it's like, well, what are you going to do with it? So that definitely. There's so much else around it that I think works. That's the really annoying thing about Spectre. It's just like a few script drafts away from being really fantastic. But yeah, the whole Blofeld Bond brother thing, pretty dreadful. Oh, Horror Mood, thank you very much. Cheers. I've enjoyed your book reviews tremendously. Keep up the good work. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, I need to get back into the John Gardner ones. I've got a few of them here. Well, I won't get them out, but Roll of Honor and Nobody Lives Forever are on my shelf, and they've been on my shelf for some time. I just need to finally just get into actually reading them. Ben called Young Bond cuts through the web of spies. Oh, interesting. I see. It's, yeah. My James Bond Jr. knowledge needs some fine-tuning. Sean Turner, again, thank you very much, Sean. Cheers, sir. Oh, Charlie Nice, you should review the Alex Rider books. They're really good. I quite agree with that, actually. I read them when I was a kid, and yeah, I really liked them. And so much of Anthony Horowitz, he is doing sort of like Fleming for kids, which is really cool. I love the Alex Rider Amazon TV series as well that was on earlier this year. Ryan O, thank you very much, Ryan 007. I hope that's the rest of your surname. If you could choose between seeing No Time to Die Tomorrow or On Demand... if you could choose between seeing No Time to Die Tomorrow on demand or waiting a few months to see it in theaters, which would you choose? I would always wait to see it in theaters. And I'm saying this as someone who doesn't... I've never been to a Bond premiere. I don't get invited to things all that much, so it's really not something that I do. So it's not that I want to see it in the theater because I'll have this ritual of going and seeing it or whatever. It's just that I like seeing them on the big screen, and I like seeing them with an audience, because I usually always experience Bond films by myself on the sofa or just with a couple of friends or whatever, but it's mostly quite a small solitary thing. And I think seeing some of the films on the big screen, like last year when I saw World Is Not Enough, Moonraker, and On a Majesty's Secret Service on the big screen, even though I had seen them before and most of the people there had seen them before, it's just a completely different experience. So yeah, I think that's I would always wait for the cinema. Oh, William Rushk, again, thank you so much. Very kind, William. What are your thoughts on James Mangold, director of Logan and Ford v Ferrari, directing Indiana Jones 5? Also, what do you think of Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams directing a Bond film? Ooh, this is a good question. Okay, so James Mangold, I absolutely adore, and I'm so glad that he's doing Indiana Jones 5. I'm actually probably more glad that he's doing it instead of Spielberg, because I loved Logan so much. So yeah, I mean, could he direct a Bond film, please? That'd be quite nice. As for Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams directing a Bond film, I'm not a fan of either of them. Well, okay. Rian Johnson, I love Knives Out, and The Last Jedi is one of the most frustrating films I've ever seen. And Looper I've seen. Rian Johnson, I always feel like people enjoy explaining his films to you more than they actually enjoy watching them. I feel like because Last Jedi has been talked about a lot on Twitter recently, and I just keep quiet because I'm not a fan of it. And I don't like not being a fan of it, because then you get thrown in with all the people who complain about, Kelly Marie Tran and John Boyega and all these things. And it's like, no, I just don't like it. It's nothing to do with the actors. J.J. Abrams, I think he did a really good job with The Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker. Not so much. I think J.J. Abrams is a good... I think his emotional instincts are really good for directing, but I don't know, he can't do endings. He's so good at like setting things up and, I have this nice wrapped box here. I bet you want to know what's inside, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? And he'll do that for 2 films, and then at the end he won't even care what's in the box. So yeah. So neither of them for Bond for me, please, but James Mangold, definitely. Nick W, thank you very much. Oh, the super chat, thank you. I actually watched OK Connery and enjoyed it. Has your opinion changed? OK Connery, the Bond spin-off starring Connery's brother. Yeah. I haven't seen it in many years. I might have to go back and have a look at it sometime soon. But honestly, it's... Yeah, I remember just having a completely... that's a film that I need to see with a lot of friends and a lot of alcohol, even more alcohol. Justin Emerson Richards again, thank you so much. I listen to Bad Romance now, don't judge me. Bad Romance is my favorite song, Justin, so no, I'm all... No judgment here. This is a safe space. King of Pointless, thank you very much. Boris Johnson, please outlaw any more Last Jedi discourse. I have to kind of agree with you there, King of Pointless, and it's not to take away from anyone who likes Last Jedi. I know many people who do like it, and for very good reason, all that kind of stuff, but I do feel like more than almost any other film I know, it's a film that people love to pontificate about, and I know that I'm saying this, the irony of me saying that when I have an entire channel which is me pontificating about James Bond films, but it, particularly with The Last Jedi, because the fandom is so toxic when it comes to talking about that. Like, I'm not talking about my own conversations with friends or Bond fans, even, because I think Bond fandom is very good, solid, pragmatic. You know, you can't... Bond is so diverse anyway in the terms of what the film series is that you kind of just have to be so open to other people's preferences, I think, and that's really good, whereas Star Wars seems to be so sort of narrow-minded, and The Last Jedi is just all about this, like... So yeah, no, I'm King of Pointless, sorry, that's a very long-winded way of saying I agree with you. Mr. Ollie, say my name and you will have good luck. Well, Mr. Ollie, there we go, I've got good luck now, so if you could extend that same good luck to the year 2021, that'd be nice, on behalf of all of us. Sean Turner again, thank you. Very kind, Sean. Thank you. Callum, thoughts on Aaron Taylor Johnson or Callum Turner as the next James Bond? P.S. I'm actually named after Sean Bean. Excellent. Well, Aaron Taylor Johnson, I really like him. And I think I'm still waiting for him to have that big breakout role. I know he was in the Avengers, one of the Avengers films, and he was Kick-Ass, but I still don't feel like his name recognition is quite as high as it should be. Callum Turner, I don't know, but Aaron Taylor Johnson I really like. I think he could probably do a really good job with it, actually, because he's a really strong actor, as well as being able to do the, you know, action stuff and all that. So, High Voltage, yeah, thank you. How can they make a trilogy and not plan it out? Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 2, is The Last Jedi done right? Well, I'm somewhat in agreement with you there, High Voltage. Yes, I think it's... and, you know, I know that people love to point out that, oh, well, George Lucas didn't have a full plan when he made the original series and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, I don't think that's an excuse for them not having a plan now in the 20-teens when they were making something new. Yeah, no, I very much agree. I wish that there'd just been some cohesion. To be honest, if Rise of Skywalker had been directed by a different director, I think that would have been helpful, because then at least you would have 3 different things. Whereas because they brought J.J. Abrams back, like the J.J. films feel like they're missing a second part, which is really strange. Like at least Rian Johnson did follow on from The Force Awakens somewhat naturally. Justin Emerson Richards, again, you're too kind, sir. Thank you. Thoughts on John Gavin playing Bond in Diamonds? I would not have been terribly pleased with that, I don't think. John Gavin is in my favourite film of all time, which is Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. But just a bit of a wooden actor, isn't he? So I don't know if that... Yeah. Not for me. Not for me. David Brooks again. Well, thank you. You should read Alex Rider novels, graphic novels, as... It's what you really want in a James Bond Jr. concept. And please review Agent Cody Banks. I must review Agent Cody Banks at some point. I would love an excuse to talk about that film, actually. But yeah, no, I read Alex Rider when I was a kid. I must have read like 6 or 7 of the books, I think. And then there was a big gap. And then I kind of, you know, grew up and then started, you know, I read a couple of, you know, real Bond books. So that kind of, yeah. Psycho, I knew it. Thank you, Henoch. Oh, Being James Bond, Joe Darlington's here. The Mandalorian is saving Star Wars. I quite agree with that, Joe. Cheers, Joe. Hope you're doing all right on the East Coast with this snowstorm. I don't know if it's gotten to you, but yeah, no, I heard it's quite bad. Um, Mike Connick, can you rank the groups of villains from each film? Oh, well, GoldenEye's number one. I won't go through them all, but suffice to say, GoldenEye's ensemble of villains is my absolute favorite, without a doubt. The Zupa GR dude, I love your vids. Well, thank you very much. The Zupa GR dude, even. Oh, Calvin, did you watch the Stormbreaker review by Matthew Buck and Dominic Noble? I didn't, but I quite like Matthew Buck, so I might have to go and check that out, actually, after this. Hi, Calvin. Hi, Drew. Cheers. Have you read any John le Carre? No, I haven't, but of course he passed away this week, didn't he? Which, yeah, I think I saw Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, the Gary Oldman one, but quite some time ago. Griffin, hello. Ben Cole, should May appear in a Bond film, and who should play her? Helen Mirren. No. May it be interesting, May obviously being Bond's housekeeper from the Fleming books. It'd be an interesting thing. I don't know, I think it'd make Bond feel, I think part of the reason why she's not been included in the series so far is because they're always kind of iffy about making Bond seem like too much of a highfalutin fuddy-duddy, and I think having a maid kind of, yeah, just do that. So, yeah, I don't know if we will see her anytime soon, but M sings You Know My Name. Thoughts as in Judi Dench singing You Know My Name. I would absolutely love that. Decaf Caffeine, hello. Hello. Best 007 author after Fleming. Oh, I'm going to have to go with Kingsley Amis on that, because Colonel Sun's... Well, no, actually, I did quite like Christopher Wood's Spy Who Loved Me novelization. Those are probably my two favorite post-Fleming books. John Gardner doesn't appear in this list of things, but yeah. All right. Can we get a top 10 Q-Lab scenes? I think so. I think I'm going to have to do that at some point. I probably already spoiled that because I've been saying GoldenEye is probably my favorite number one, but... Calvin, can you listen to and review the Toby Stevens BBC James Bond radio drama series? Yes, several people have recommended this to me, and I think I absolutely, need to check those out. Oh, Dean Jones! Hello, Dean Jones! Do you think that No Time to Die will have a simultaneous cinema and on-demand release if they stick with the April 2021 date, similar to other releases this year? The problem is with No Time to Die going on demand is that it's not as natural. Like, obviously, Disney have their own streaming service. Warner Brothers have HBO Max, and then it gets a bit more complicated when they come outside of the States. But it's difficult for MGM to just have that, kind of no-brainer streaming service. And then when you take into account that Universal have distribution rights everywhere else and this kind of stuff, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they might try to just keep it as a purely theatrical thing, and then 3 months later, however long. But that's like that, that's me speculating based on absolutely nothing other than, hunch and innuendo, as M might say. Ben Cole, you finished the John Gardner book, Oeuvre, was your highlight of 2020. That's amazing. Oh, Lars, what am I drinking? I'm drinking Applejack. Sorry, it's not a real whiskey. Oh, Jomo999, thank you very much for the super chat, Jomo. Sorry, I've only just seen this. Hey, Calvin, for the 007 project, would you like to see a multiplayer? And if so, are there any Bond locations you'd like to see as maps? Oh, that's a good question. I would absolutely love an online multiplayer element. I think that would be so cool. I know that some of the PS3 Bond games did have online multiplayer, and I spent an awful lot of time on Quantum of Solace multiplayer, actually, if you can believe it. But I would love it because I would love to, the potential of tournaments and things, and, getting the community of, Bond fans on there, I think would be really awesome. And as for maps, funnily enough, I think that GoldenEye Rogue Agent, despite being a terrible game, actually does have some of the best Bond multiplayer maps, like based on like some locations from the film. So you've got like Scaramanga's Funhouse, and the Golden Gate Bridge is one, and they've got like little buttons so you can press a button and a trapdoor opens on the Golden Gate Bridge, and enemies, your friends can fall through the trapdoor and all that kind of stuff. So I'd like to see that, actually. It's a shame that multiplayer is so good on such a poor game, really, but yeah, interesting. Oh, Zachary Antle again, thank you. Who should play Bond in the upcoming game? Right, that is a really good question, because I'm all for them just doing a completely original Bond like face model kind of thing. I As for who would do the voice, I don't know really. I'm fine with them going with a, no name, actor or whatever. I don't think they need to necessarily, because I think the game's going to be really interesting because it's going to be the first thing post Craig era, and it's going to be setting the tone and style of a kind of a new era. Well, maybe not setting the tone and style. I'm sure Eon aren't going to be held to it, but it's going to be doing its own thing, and I think that's quite interesting. So I hope they have a original Bond. My voice is going, so I'm sorry. I'm going to have to say adieu in a couple of minutes because my voice is actually going. Apparently, I can only talk for about an hour with my voice holding, and then it starts to go. So, yeah. But yeah, this has been fun, as it always has, and the time has actually flown by, which is quite something. Oh, Sebastian Fitzpatrick. Right, I'll just answer a couple more questions, and then do you feel a bit fatigued after hearing after the near 2-decade-long Craig era? It's interesting because it's kind of just defined the series for so long. Like that style, like the Craig era style, has just defined the entire series and all of the offshoots and different things. And I am ready for a bit of a refresh in that in that respect. But yeah, Luke James, hello. I am drinking a Jack Daniel's Apple and Coke Zero, so not really whiskey, but never mind. Hope you're well. Oh, King of Pointless again. I really enjoyed this Snook stream. I don't know if that's supposed to say live stream, but well, thank you very much, King of Pointless. I will be reporting you to Boris Johnson, though, for violating the Last Jedi law right away. That's deserved. Thank you very much. Matt Picton again, thank you. Love your Who Should Be the Next Bond video in 2016. God, is that when I made it? Thoughts on Idris Elba and Tom Hardy changed since then? I don't know. I think, God, in 2016, I think I was probably saying that Idris Elba was too old. He's definitely too old now. Tom Hardy, again, probably too old and too well known. I'd like them to go with someone who can really mature into the part. I'd be all for them going for a much younger Bond. But, yeah. Tret Films again, hello. Thought you'd be drinking red Jack Daniels, Alex Mayhew style. Calvin, have you ever been to Black Park location filming for at least 5 Bonds? I haven't, and I really need to. My mum actually got in touch with me about that. She was like, I've heard about this Black Park thing. Should we go sometime when we're next down in London? Not that we'll be going anywhere public for a while, I don't think, but oh, Sam, thank you. Been great to listen to this tonight. Save your voice. Thank you very much, Sam. And on that note, I think I will do just that. So thank you, everyone. And just to sign off, to say thank you very much for comments tonight and just on the videos in general, for watching and for chatting and all this kind of stuff. This channel has really been something of a savior for me. Oh, Justin sent a super chat again. Sorry. Still want Cumberbatch's Bond. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Justin. Thank you. This channel's been a complete savior for me through lockdown and everything. Like, I don't know what I would have done if it hadn't been for making videos for this channel and just engaging with people and chatting in comments and stuff like that. It's really nice and a really nice distraction. So thank you. And thank you, Daffy Brooks. Thank you. Have a good night, man. Please watch the Chow Yun Fat License to Kill music video when you can. He could kill 007. Awesome. That's what I'm going to do right now. Ben Cole, whiskey is probably the best drink for a sore throat. I quite agree. Okay, well, Merry Christmas, everyone. And thank you very much. This has been fun. And next time I do a live stream, it'll probably be 2020. So I will see you on the other side of 2020. There'll be a few videos before that. A couple, maybe. But yes. Otherwise, Merry Christmas, everyone. Take care. And thank you for joining me. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.